All right, students. Now, you're going to be working on this demand activity, and with this demand activity, first page of it, you have to decide whether these products are in demand for your age group. So now remember, with demand, you need desire, ability, and willingness to buy the products. You need all three. So the first one, an iPod, I would say the answer is no. For the explanation, okay, there's no desire. So if you just go right down the list, there's no desire for it. Why? Because you have phones and stuff nowadays. Second one, video camera. Okay, with the video camera, it'd be nice to have a GoPro. Most of you would probably want it. Most of you probably have the ability to pay $150 or whatever they cost. But the main thing is, okay, they're not in demand for your age group overall, and usually in class I have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 people, okay, that have their own video camera, but that's still not enough to be high demand. So I would say no, and I would say the problem that it's missing is the willingness. Most of you aren't willing to turn your money over, okay, for a video camera when you could spend your money on gas and other things. Okay, now you have to go through and do the rest. Cheeseburger, okay, does it have desirability, willingness for your age group? Not you individually, your age group. Massages, okay, desirability and willingness for your age group. Okay, and then a 42-inch flat screen TV. Let's say this one costs $2,000, and let's say it's a top of the line 3D best TV you can get. So let's go ahead and say that that's $2,000. Once you're done with that part, you're going to go to the second part. With the second part, okay, you have to go through and you have to answer these questions. This is really the activity that I really want you to do. Now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you an example, okay, of what I would do. You have to pick your own product or your own service. So, like it says, pick a product or service and find out whether there's a demand for it in your age group. So, step one, pick the product. Make sure it's not too expensive. Otherwise, of course, your age group doesn't have a ton of money, so you don't want to pick something like a Lamborghini. I'm going to go ahead and say a 20-ounce Mountain Dew. Okay? So I'd go ahead and I'd use that. Now look at, I explained it. I don't go around and say to someone, how many Mountain Dews would you buy for 25 cents? Well, you don't know if it's a can, a plastic 20-ounce like I'm doing, a 12-pack, a 2-liter, a case. What size is it? So make sure you give a decent explanation there. Now, step two, I have to come up with 5 prices. I'm going to come up with a low price, so I'm going to say 25 cents, and then I'm going to come up with the middle price should be about what the cost is typically. So I'm going to go up every 50 cents. So I have 25 cents, 75 cents, $1.25, $1.75, and $2.25. So I have a low price, a high price, and my middle price is typically about what it costs, okay, on average. Now over here, the D with the question mark means what do you think the average is going to be at the end? So when I ask 10 people and I divide how many they say they're going to buy, okay, by how many people I ask, what do I think the average is going to be at 25 cents? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it's going to be 6. At 75 cents, I think people will buy an average of 3. At $1.25, I think they'll buy 1. At $1.75, I think they'll buy 0.75. And at $2.25, I think the average is going to be a half. Okay, now will people buy a half at $2.25? No, but if one person buys 1, one person buys 0, the average of those two would be a half. That's why I'm going to say the average. Now, step 3, this is where I have to do my research. I have to go and ask the first person, okay, how many Mountain Dews they'd buy at 25 cents. Okay, and give them some time to think about it. Let them come up with their answer. Don't let them see other people's responses because sometimes that impacts them, but let them decide. Okay, so let's say that I'm asking someone and I say at 25 cents, how many Mountain Dews would you buy? And they say 0. Okay, how about at 75 cents? 0. Okay, $1.25, 0, $1.75, 0, $2.25, 0. Why? Because they don't like Mountain Dew. Some people will say that. Next person I ask, I say, how many Mountain Dews, 20-ounce bottles would you buy at 25 cents? And they say they would buy 100. Why? Because they'd buy them and then they'd resell them and they'd make a bunch of profit off of them. Okay? How many would you buy at 75 cents? Let's say they say 10. Okay? $1.25, let's say they say 5. $1.75, 3, and let's say $2.25, they say 1. Okay? At the end, when I'm all done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add up each column. So I'm going to add up all these, and I'm gonna come up with the total. I'm gonna add up all these, come up with the total, and then I'm gonna divide by 10. Why? That's how many people I asked. And that's gonna give me the average that I'm gonna write into here. So in step 4, you have to take what your averages are and write them in here. And let's say my average for price number 1, let's say was 9.5. Let's say my average for price 2, okay, was 4.3. My average for price 3, let's say was 2.1. Let's say my average for price 4 was 1. Let's say my average for price was 0.5. Okay? So let's say I have those averages. So I did all the math, I did all that stuff, and I'm skipping it right now, but let's say that's what it is. Then I could do step 5. Step 5, you have to draw up a demand schedule. A demand schedule puts price here, quantity here. I'm gonna put my 5 prices in. So remember, I started out with 25 cents, went to 75 cents, $1.25, $1.75, and $2.25. Okay, so I put my prices in there. Now I take my averages, okay, that I got from up here, and I plug them in. So at 25 cents, it was 9.5, 4.3, 2.1, 1, and 0.5. So step 5 now is done. I have a demand schedule complete. Now I'm going to take this information and I'm going to chart it. So over here on this axis, you put price. Over here, you put quantity. I'm going to go ahead and go every 25 cents. 25, or you know what, I'm going to go 50 cents. 50, $1, $1.50, $2, $2.50. And then in between would be the 25 cents. Quantity, since my highest is 9.5, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up by